I
Oh,
have been
wow.
up for a long time.
You win. You win.
But I do look like I woke up like 4 minutes ago. I have no idea.
No, you have that beautiful, healthy glow.
Yes.
Your skin is radiant.
That is completely created through special effects, which is great. But I will tell you this.
We do use special filters and cameras on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Today, Bobby's not using one because she doesn't need one ever.
Oh, yeah.
I need one all the time.
I have a webcam that helps a little bit. So, and also extremely heavy TV makeup.
You know what I'm
not wearing the TV makeup today. So I think I'm wearing a little too much eyeshadow. I don't know.
Me too.
I got dressed at 6 a.m. So it was still dark out here. I don't know what time sunrise is, but it's not 6. It was dark when I got dressed.
Maybe I need to start doing that, putting on makeup like I did when I did TV at some point.
Did you put out a preview of what we're going to talk about on Facebook? Or did you see my Instagram?
It's in the thing. It's in the.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I can't see that from here.
Good morning, Jacob here. Jacqueline's here.
Yay.
I am. They are not coming up on screen. Are you seeing them on screen?
There. Now I see the comments, but I don't know. I was up at 6, Joe. What do you want me to say? I am confused, but we're going to talk about Dolly Parton.
I'm asking if you're seeing the comments on screen.
I am seeing the comments on screen. Yes.
Okay. Cause I'm clicking them and I'm not seeing anything. So,
I see. Hey guys, I see. Maybe just click reload chat. You're on them, but you're putting them on the screen. You see that you put up, hey guys.
I am seeing that I'm clicking them. I'm not seeing anything on the screen.
Oh, I am. Now I see good morning is on the screen.
How do you reload chat?
I don't know.
I think I'll be right back.
Oh, we'll have to look at our DMs. Okay. So I will look DMs as soon as we are finished. We are going through some staffing transitions. So I dropped the ball on that one. I've been a little bit distracted, but I will. Okay. So now looks like it said the chat is ready to display messages. So, okay. Tyson is there. Thank you, Tyson. Yeah. Let us know what times work for you. I feel like we are trying to do it early. I set this time. This is ironic. I asked Joe if we could start taping at 8 a.m. once he settled into his new home in Texarkana, because I thought my son would be leaving for school at 7:30 a.m. So that would be perfect. Of course, he has attended school, as all of you that follow our Instagram know, 4 days since March. That's 4 days since March. So he is in the other room, and hopefully he will be attending his classes. Oh, right about now, his class should be starting 50-50. Doesn't always make it. It's a big, big walk, a couple feet from his bed. So he has been woken up. He has been alerted. We're here with Zoom school.
I have no idea why I can't see these.
I am seeing them. I'm seeing now. It says you are on it early today. Tyson, Sarah, morning, y'all. Yeah, it's over a week old. Oh no, sorry about that.
What's over a week old?
The DM that we did not look at.
The DM.
Okay, we're on it. We tend to look at the question stickers and we don't always look at the DMs so fast, but we need to do that.
Oh,
okay.
So I'm very happy now that I'm settled.
Let me see if I can even do that now.
Not really settled. I have carpeting in here now, and they're going to come and paint tomorrow.
I'm gonna find it
because you'll see along the top here, along the ceiling line. This was a kid's bedroom before. And you can see all these little things. There was a bunk bed up against the wall. And so there's these little things, but they're going to be painting and getting rid of that. So I'll finally be able, Bobby, to settle in starting after this weekend. And
I'm looking for the DM. I'm like looking.
Mug collection back though.
I don't see it.
Zion National Park. With a map of Zion and coffee from Vermont this morning.
Can you resend the DM? Because I am literally like looking at our DMs and I am not seeing it. So I'm so sorry.
I was also thinking I see the DMs too. And Jacqueline, I didn't see a DM from you.
I'm so sorry. I'm looking through and thinking maybe it slipped through the cracks with everything going on behind the scenes, but I'm
Yeah,
looking and I don't see it. So
we
I'm
have
so
had
sorry.
we have had Bobby
We
more
do get more
DMs
and
this
more
week,
traffic. Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot of traffic on Instagram. We love you all.
but I
So
haven't
I
seen one
truly
from Jacqueline.
apologize, but I don't see it. I just looked right now. I'm so sorry. And we already have our listener question for this week, but maybe next week we'll prioritize it if we see it.
Bring it.
I think, yeah. I'm
Jacqueline
so
can
sorry
be
about
the
that.
special. She'll be the special Thanksgiving weekend. We were really saving it for Thanksgiving weekend, but if you could send it again so we can save it for Thanksgiving weekend,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
that would be great. Oh my
Yikes.
goodness. You guys ready to do this? Let's make a couple
Yeah.
shows because today is a very full day. Yesterday was a full day, but I lived through today and I don't have hardly anything scheduled through Thanksgiving. We've recorded a lot ahead of time. Bola Succumbi and I recorded yesterday for next week. That was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time. All right.
All right. Ready? We
Nope.
rolling?
Not rolling. Now we're rolling.
Okay.
This is the
Now we're rolling.
weekend
The
show,
weekend
November 20th.
show. Are you sure it's November 20th? I think it's going to be November 21st.
It says Thursday, November
Double
19th.
check.
So you're right.
Right.
November 20th, part 2.
This is what happens with morning recordings with us. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the weekend show where we look back at the highlights of the week that was and get you ready for the week to come. Plus, we take your questions about, well, anything you want to ask us. It is Saturday, November 21st. Let's talk money with our friends. Welcome to the Money with Friends podcast. I am certified financial planner, Bobby Rebel, host of the Financial Grown Up podcast, coming to you from my very grown up kitchen in New York City.
And coming to you from Texarkana, Texas, I'm former financial planner Joe Salsihai, where the weather is cold, but the coffee is hot, Bobby, this morning.
Yeah, same here. My dog is wearing sweaters this week. We have moved into the wardrobe. The warmer weather wardrobe for our pets.
When dogs wear sweaters, you know it must be cold.
Yes. And the funny thing is she's watching me from afar over there and she perked up when I started talking about her because she knows that dog is smart. Yeah.
Happy weekend show, everybody. We going to finish the intro or are we going to just roll into it today, Bobby?
Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. So every weekday we share headlines, why they matter, and specific ideas and advice for your financial life. And on the weekends, we share highlights, preview the week ahead, and answer your questions. And yeah, we got a little loopy. This week's been a little bit rough. So I just literally thought we were done with the intro, but we weren't. That's how we roll here on the weekends, right?
Today's show is
a little more casual.
Brought to you by NordPass. We lock the passwords. You hold the keys. Get this. Sandy over at NordPass sent me this thing. I talked about it the other day when Adam was here. 70% off until December 1st. Talk about a great Black Friday week deal. You can finally get your passwords all in order. Head to nordpass.com/MWF. 70% off. Well, this show is 0% off because we're bringing it all today, Bobby. We're bringing not just what we think about today, the weekend, but we're also bringing the fun we had last week and what fun's coming up next week, holiday week.
And we also have a really good listener question that I'm excited about. We're going to talk about our first. Do we want to say what it is?
No.
I just said our first. Okay, we're leaving it there.
Rule of foreshadowing number 1, we're not going to do that. What we are going to do, we're going to see which one of our friends is helping us kick off the weekend discussion.
All right. So we had an amazing week last week, and thank God this is all recorded so people can go back and listen because we had some real gems there. Starting the week out strong with Aquaman, Jason Momoa, who was in debt after Game of Thrones. Boy, that must have been kind of stinky. But we talked about how he got out of it and how we all can come back from those tough times.
Yeah, I think a great lesson on Monday is that no matter what struggle you have, you can get over it. I mean, there is a tomorrow. And if you just keep putting one foot in front of another, things get better. Maybe you won't be the next Aquaman, but things can get better.
You never know when you're going to get that big phone call, right?
It
changes your life.
You really don't. I got
a big phone call. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
so
Tuesday, yes, you and Amy Goodman talked about. And this I thought was the strangest place where we can talk about getting snappy dressing tips. Our newly elected members of Congress. I thought that was it was a creative day here on Tuesday.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. Many new jobs, you are going to get an increase in salary, which many of the people in the article were getting, but you don't get that money for quite some time. And they have to still get their wardrobes together and then also, effectively move or have some kind of residence in DC. So there's a lot of front-loaded costs to this new opportunity for these new members of Congress. And so how do you finance that? And we got a lot of great tips from the audience about sharing wardrobes and thrift stores and how to finance this and how to find great ideas to upgrade your wardrobe before you have the money to do so
We had some
without going into debt.
we have some job numbers this last week, also more coming out this coming week that we'll talk about coming up. And hopefully as more people go back to work, Bobby, they'll have that same problem, right? That, hey, I finally got a job again, can't be in sweatpants all day. At least got to have something that looks good on my Zoom call, at least maybe half the wardrobe. So I think those are some very helpful tips. What did you guys talk about on Wednesday?
We talked about 7 ways this holiday season will be different. That show has been incredibly popular. It's not the obvious stuff, so I think that was really good to hear. And the piece quoted one of our favorite shopping experts as well, Trey Botch, who's always got incredible insights into how people can get the best for their money, make their money go the farthest, and also just have fun with it, not be so serious, but also get the best deals.
Do you think in some ways it will be a better holiday season because we're kind of forced to just pay attention to what's really important about the holiday instead of spending all of our time out at the mall pretending that we're I mean getting ourselves into debt, doing all this stuff that we probably shouldn't be doing?
I think there's a lot less pressure on giving large gifts and certainly expensive gifts. And there's also less emphasis on getting deals just for the sake of deals, because one thing that you have to do is order early because there's a shortage in inventory in many items and also shipping delays. So you have to be a little bit more thoughtful. And so you don't have this game of chicken going on where everyone's trying to game the system and figure out what they can get at the last minute. People have to be thoughtful, plan, and be organized if they want to get what they want to get. And I think there's a lot less expectation from people about getting expensive gifts from other people. The pressure is off because everyone knows that the economic outlook is at best uncertain and for many people really, really bad. So we don't want people spending a lot of money. And what people really miss, they realize, is being with each other, and that can't happen. So you really learn what you miss, and you don't miss the big gifts. You miss being together.
Does that mean, by the way, that you're not getting, Neil, the his and hers GMC trucks that we see on commercials all the time right now?
I hate that commercial. I'm sorry. I guess I've just blown a potential brand partner, but I got to say, I just don't think you should surprise somebody with massive purchases that in theory should be yours for 10 years or whatever. I've always bought cars, not leased them, but I don't like that.
I'm just thinking,
I don't like
buying
that.
one of those cars is expensive. Buying two, and then really,
yeah, but don't buy things for your spouse without checking with them. Come on, people.
Well, and here's the thing, Bobby. I mean, I think it's kind of tone deaf in a different way. We've got 11 million people out of work. And in some years when things go great, okay, maybe have the commercial that's over the top, right? Of course, we're talking about it, which is what they really want. But in this year, when people are wondering if they can keep the utility bill on, running a commercial about buying his and hers cars.
Yeah, if you have the money to buy his or hers cars, please consider redirecting that money towards supporting a charity or some outlet that can help people in need.
Thursday, Annette, by the way, says that she worries that people spend more money because they can't see people. I do know, Annette, that we've already started looking on Etsy and other places to see, what we can get people because we're not seeing them. The budget for me isn't as big. I'll be curious, people hanging out live with us, if their budget is actually bigger. Ernesto says, forget about the trucks. He wants a Tesla. So go small, Ernesto. Just go small. On Thursday, Adam Carroll joined me, Bobby, and we talked about this little-known star named Taylor Swift. Not sure if you've heard of her, but Taylor Swift in the news because her first album, she was with a recording company, Big Machine Records, and those masters got sold If you may remember a year ago, they were sold the first time, and Taylor Swift was livid that she wasn't allowed to bid on them before they were sold. Now they've been sold again. But the cool thing that we talked about quite a few cool things. Number one, read the contract, right? Number two is surrounding yourself with the right people and having the right mentors around you to kind of walk you through some of these situations. Number three, we talked about publicity and what you say over the any medium like this. When you talk, I think a lot of people go on Facebook and just say things, and a lot of times that stuff comes back to bite you. So we talked about a lot of stuff, not just record contracts, but I think a lot of takeaways that we can use in our everyday life.
Yeah. And look, I think that people say, well, why did she sign this horrible contract? But the truth is, the way that the record industry is structured, when you don't have the leverage to negotiate a better deal, you take whatever deal you can get. I don't think this deal that she had was so unusual. I mean, even back many, many, many decades ago, the Beatles signed a deal that ultimately resulted in Michael Jackson owning a lot of the Beatles songs and being able to sell them for things that the Beatles, the actual, members of the band were not happy about, for use in licensing, for use in commercials and such. So it's very tricky who owns intellectual property. And it's nice to say, well, you should hold on to that. But if a record company is deciding between you and five other people that they view as similar, and you are the only one saying, I'm not going to sell you the rights, well, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to get the deal, and you won't have the success that she had. So it's a tough call. And they do put a lot of those deals are structured that way so that the record companies, they bet on many different stars or hopeful stars, and maybe one comes and becomes a huge Taylor Swift out of 100. We don't really know. So they have to cover those costs, whether we like to admit it or not. I'm not defending them necessarily because I know they're horrible contracts, but there's some rationale for it.
Our friend David Stein, who spent quite a bit of time with you and I here on Money with Friends and is the host of the Money for the Rest of Us podcast, hanging out with us live on YouTube, says he's looking forward to the day when the Money with Friends back catalog is worth $300 million. I think it's only going to be, David, probably a day or two from now. If you want to get the checkbook out, my friend, and preemptively buy it, we might be able to talk. Not sure. On Friday, Adam and I pivoted to another story that was just from the moon. Costco, discount warehouse Costco, where you can buy a pellet of ketchup. They now offer discount private plane memberships. It can be yours, Bobby, for only, I think the price was $14,999, not $15,000. $14,999.
Right.
Yeah. So you thinking about it?
Right.
You're going to get the private plane through Costco?
No, absolutely not. I am not going to do that. It's so low on my list of things that I would ever do. I'm not going to get into it, but small planes, don't have a good history with my family. So I don't want anything to do with that kind of stuff.
I do like the argument though.
People want to do it. I like that it becomes, something that not everyone, but it could be reasonably affordable for some people if that's their big splurge.
Well, and I'll tell you, for some people it's a splurge. We talked about that you can justify whatever the heck you want to justify between your ears. But we also talked about, for a lot of people, time equals money. And a lot of people don't think about, before they get into something, exactly how much they're trading. How much of my life I'm really trading. When you look at people right now driving for Uber used to be a decent deal. We had a guest on our show recently. I'm not going to get her name right now, and I apologize. But talking about how the math no longer works out for most people, Bobby, when they drive for Uber, people don't look at depreciation, about the gasoline. They just look at the time. When you just look at your time, you go, oh, this looks like a good deal. Not a good deal for most people. I think you got to learn how to do a lot of that math. But for some people, having that private plane to get someplace quicker because they can make so much money so quickly doing that can be a good time versus money comparison. And also, we talked about something else here. Don't compare yourself to somebody else, right? Somebody has a private plane and you go, well, private plane, that's for suckers. Their situation might be different than yours. So.
Yes, absolutely. I think there's a lot of comparisons there, and I think it's a good episode. Everyone should check out and judge for themselves.
Annette said that she's gonna go get the private plane now. So she also said earlier on she spends $100 on Christmas, but she is getting the private plane. So you can see where Annette's priorities are. Hey, in just a second, we're going to talk about the upcoming week and what's happening. There might be a holiday on Thursday. I don't know, but you'll have to wait and see whether there is or not. But I want to say a big thanks to everybody who's used our link when they've checked out NordPass's new deal. NordPass has, like a lot of companies, has a deal that is through December 1st. So through Cyber Monday, you can now protect your passwords for a price that's 70% off the normal price. The thing that I love about having a password manager in general is that I have a different password for everything. Whenever a password is compromised, that never happens, Bobby, that passwords get compromised. They get one, they don't get them all. The other thing that I like too is that if something happens, and this is morbid, but if something happens to me or happens to Cheryl, all of our passwords are in one place and we both know where everything is. And back when I was a financial planner, that was always a difficult time with a surviving spouse figuring out where everything is. So NordPass helps in a ton of different ways. Great time to buy it this week, 70% off, nordpass.com/MWF for more. All right, we got Gregory finally joining us in the audience. We got a chatty bunch hanging out with us today. Let's talk about what's going on next week, Bobby. What is on tap?
So Monday, we're going to see purchasing managers data, which has been returning to normal. The number apparently was close to zero. You wrote this part. I'm doing your lines. Go.
Well, I know it's
I'm
pretty
totally
shocking.
confused because I was multitasking, looking for. Never mind. Don't even ask. Go.
You were pretty good at that, though. And I know it's shocking, Bobby. But in April this year, purchasing manager data, these people go buy stuff for companies, that number went very close to zero. But actually, if you look at the numbers, because I went and looked the past few months, it has been very quickly returning to normal. So we'll see more on Monday. Also, we talked about Taylor Swift earlier. Warner Music Group, not affiliated with Taylor Swift, but of course affiliated with the music industry, and Urban Outfitters are two big names that are going to have their quarterly earnings calls. Tuesday, Conference Board consumer confidence number. That's also expected to be higher. Might bode well for retailers this holiday season. Lots of names that you and I know that are going to be declaring earnings on Tuesday. Best Buy, that'll be an interesting one for the holiday season, while you and Amy talked about that. Cracker Barrel, Hormel, Dell, Dollar Tree, Dick's, Gap, Guess, HP, Nordstrom, and Medtronic. I'll bet that the financial media in the middle of this week is going to be talking a lot. Well, of course, they're going to be talking a lot about Black Friday, but also they're going to have a lot of companies telling them kind of which way the wind seems to be blowing. And on Wednesday, there's also a lot of economic data out ahead of the holiday because the rest of the week's going to be really quiet with Thanksgiving on Thursday and most people off on Friday. But we're going to have mortgage numbers, consumer spending, personal income, personal consumption, and mortgage data. Nobody's going to be paying attention to any of those because we're all getting the turkey ready. And the only notable company on Wednesday that I see here on the list, Deere & Company, John Deere, is going to have their earnings. But Thursday and Friday, short week, obviously, for earnings numbers.
Yes. So are we going to now, I'm sorry, I lost you here. Are we going to do a preview of our shows for next week, or should we do the listener question next?
Let's do the preview first, and then we'll tackle the listener question here at the end. We save the best for last. Like the cherry on top of the weekend.
Our listener question is good this week. It's really good. So, but in terms of our show preview, so Monday, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite entertainers, Dolly Parton. I just binge watched a bunch of different Dolly shows, not even knowing this. There's a 2-hour show on Dolly on Netflix right now that's talking about how she came up and her early life in the 1960s. And I'm going to save it for the show, but just I love Dolly already, and she gave a massive donation that was crucial in helping to fund the research that has helped to find these vaccines for the coronavirus. And so we're going to talk more about what Dolly did and why everyone is so thankful and why we love Dolly.
Lots of discussion there about leaving your legacy, about thinking beyond your own personal goals, and about being a part of a community. Lots of good stuff we'll be talking about on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, we've got a special guest on, Bobby.
Yeah, we have recruited Trey Botch, who many of you know, she is a show alum, to do a couple of special shows previewing Black Friday and holiday shopping just before the Thanksgiving holiday. So this is going to be perfect. She has some amazing shopping strategies. Everyone should be already following her on True Trey, which is her Instagram handle, because she does these like almost daily like lessons and tutorials on what we need to be doing to get organized and get the best value for our money and get what we want. Because this year it's not only about the best deal, it's about actually just getting the stuff in time because of inventories and shipping that we've talked about. Trey is amazing. We'll see her on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thursday, we're going to have our second annual Bobby and Joe Thanksgiving episode. What are we thankful for in 2020? A lot to throw away, but we don't want to throw it all away. There's some stuff that we're thankful for this year, and we're going to talk about our personal list. On Friday, Bola Succumbi joins us from Clever Girl Finance, and the discussion on Friday with Bola, like every discussion we have with Bola, promises, I'm sure, to be a super interesting thing. On Saturday, you and I are back here with the weekend show, previewing a crazy week ahead and talking about the wild holiday week that was. So that's our week coming up. Let's pivot now, Bobby, then to our listener question, because we've got a good one. Yes.
So our question comes from Annette, and she asked us, what is our earliest money memory, our first money memory?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So my first money memory is my mom, who's no longer with us. And I remember every Friday we would go, we'd be in the back seat, and we had like this pale green Chevy, and we would go to the bank drive-through, and there was these cylinders that you would put. And it was the coolest thing because you put like I guess it was a withdrawal slip she would put in to get cash out for the weekend. And she'd put it in the cylinder, and it would shoot under the ground and up into the teller on the other side of the drive-through. And then the teller would take that out, and we would wait. And the teller would then put money in to an envelope that would go in the cylinder, and it would shoot back under, and we would get money. And I thought that was the coolest thing, that this money would just come back. I didn't fully understand what was going on, but I remember every Friday she would get her cash. That was my memory.
Hamsters in a tube. You're watching.
It was so cool. Well, it was a drive-through. I mean, this was a new
Yes.
concept. It was the 1970s, and it was a drive-through. There's no cell phones. We didn't even have, my family did have a car phone when they came out, but that wasn't happening in the 70s. So this was really cool. We didn't have to walk into the bank. So it was the first sort of move towards, like, I guess, an ATM, but you would put it in the cylinder, and I don't know how it worked with the gravity. Maybe somebody can chime in our audience, but you would put it in, it would just like shoot through the ground. Do you know what you're looking puzzled? Do you know what I'm talking about? Did they have these where you were growing up? No. It was so cool. It was so cool as a kid.
We have one down at our bank right now.
No, they still have it. What do you call it? What is it called?
I don't know. The suction cup that brings you your money. The suction tube that brings your money.
So cool. Air pressure.
I have no clue. That's
air pressure.
That's what.
Oh my gosh.
Telling it.
All right. What's your earliest money memory, Joe?
Vacuum pack. You know what it was? Before I get to that, it was what's the thing that they're working on? Lots of different companies are working on where they're taking people, the Hyperloop. It's the Hyperloop for money. That's what it is. It's a vacuum sealed thing, and it shoots your money. Yes. What's funny is initially I thought that I didn't have one because my early money memories are always pretty pedestrian. I was never really trusted with money, and I made a bunch of money mistakes. I think, like a lot of parents, I think they were trying to be careful. Don't give a kid $5 because a kid will waste it. Which is why now I feel like you should trust your kids with a little more money than they should have, and help them make better decisions, or actually let them make a bad decision with $5 so they don't go make a bad decision with $100 later. So I was going to talk about a later one, but you know what? As you're talking, one of the earliest things I remember about money is Money and Innovation is from second grade. And I remember being in this class, Mrs. Wright's second grade class, and them talking to us about the future and how cool the future is going to look. And that credit cards were obviously out as I'm a kid. I'm not that old, but you would have your actual money. Listen to this, Bobby, your bank account would be on a card as well that looked just like a credit card. And instead of handing cash from your wallet, you would take it and you'd plug it into this machine. You'd put in a little number code that only you know, and money would electronically go from your bank account to the grocery store. And I remember telling my mom, this is like, what is this, like 76 or something, telling my mom just how cool the future is going to be. Of course, debit cards that everybody has now, but then I thought that was awesome. And the other thing that was neat about the grocery store and technology was that you could buy stuff and the little, I'm trying to find a UPC code, but one of those little, one of these little codes on the back, little UPC, they would just slide that over. And instead of manually putting the numbers in, money can leave my wallet even faster. So I thought all that stuff that we now go, yeah, not so cool. Yeah. Future may be a little dirtier than we thought that it was going to be. Not quite so sexy and neat. And so that's a memory. Maybe that's why I still like fintech. I really like the fact that these companies do these cool apps, because I was thinking, oh, here comes the future, like I did back in second grade. So thanks.
No, there's a lot of innovation in fintech and in payment systems. So
thanks a lot for that question, Annette. That was a fun one. If you've got a question for us, we've got a special one saved for this coming week. However, yours can be next in line. Either DM us on Instagram or send Bobby or I an email. Bobby, I think that's going to do it for today, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, team at Money with Friends. No, team at moneywithfriendspodcast.com is our email. Team at moneywithfriendspodcast.com.
Awesome. Well, we are back here on Monday, as we mentioned earlier, talking about Bobby Parton, talking about Dolly Parton, different person. She's Bobby. I'm Joe. That's Dolly Parton. We'll be back on Monday. Bye-bye.
Oh my goodness. Great audience. Minutes. Thanks, guys.
You guys are chatty today. OG hanging out with us too.
Awesome.
We mentioned private plane and OG woke up. Yeah. Good stuff, guys. All right. Let me pull up the stuff. Nope. Pull up this.
By the way, let me know, did anyone see, I did an Instagram preview. Did any of you guys see it? I'm curious. We're trying to be more active on Instagram and we want to do stuff that you guys like. So I don't know if just let us know. I don't know. Say something.
All right, here we go. This is for Monday, the 23rd of November. 23rd of November already. That's crazy.
I know. Thanksgiving is just days away, and one person we are thankful for is Dolly Parton. We're going to tell you more about her incredible generosity and the difference that it has made in the battle against the coronavirus. It is Monday, November 23rd. Let's talk money with our friends. Welcome to the Money with Friends podcast. I am certified financial planner, Bobby Rebell, host of the Financial Grown Up podcast, coming to you from my very grown up kitchen in New York City.
And host of the Stacky Benjamins podcast, coming to you live from Texarkana, Texas, where we make the Stacky Benjamin Show. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy.
Here on Money with Friends, we talk about the latest personal finance headlines. We add in the insights and wisdom of our fantastic cast of thought leaders. We mix in questions and comments from our money friends, and we leave you with a takeaway to make it your own.
We're going to talk about somebody who has never had any press. This person named Dolly Parton. You familiar with her?
I looked her up.
She might be somebody that we all know. We're going to talk about why Dolly Parton's in the news. Let's see which one of our friends is going to help us kick off today's show.
All right. So this piece comes to us from Market Watch, and the headline, it's by Nicole Lynn Pesci. Twitter sings Dolly Parton's praises for giving $1 million towards developing Moderna's coronavirus vaccine. And just to give you a little summary of the piece, Dolly Parton might just save us all. She said, quote, "Let's hope we find a cure real soon." That was, people were talking about her on Twitter after it was revealed that the country music queen, and by the way, she does a lot more than country music, but she made $1 million donation towards the COVID-19 research at Vanderbilt University Medical Center in her Nashville hometown. This happened way back in April, and I think it's really interesting to note here, I didn't hear any press about it. Maybe there was, but I didn't hear any. I think she did this not anonymously, but she didn't exactly go after any press regarding this. And so that donation in turn, Joe, helped fund this Moderna vaccine candidate, which the company says has demonstrated 94.5% efficacy. And this is the vaccine that's getting the most attention because it's a lot easier to deliver than the Pfizer vaccine. So this is so important. And this got out on Twitter a few days ago, and everyone kind of went crazy. So there was this big Dolly Parton trend on Twitter, apparently 57,000 tweets. So, oh my gosh. And people basically joked that Dolly Parton has effectively cured coronavirus. And I'll just read you one of the tweets. It said, "I want everyone to know Dolly Parton gave us Buffy the TV series, the song 9 to 5, Dollywood, and of course, the COVID vaccine." And it also should be noted that people know about the Imagination Library, which was originally a program to send a free book to every month to kids under 5 in one county, but it's expanded. It's now delivering books to about 1.5 million children across the country each month. And it isn't not talked about, but I don't think it's talked about enough, all of her philanthropy. This is someone that grew up without plumbing. She had 11 brothers and sisters, extremely, extremely poor. And she was not even, she wasn't an overnight success. You can tell I've watched a lot of documentaries about Dolly.
I
I'm
guess
a huge
so.
Dolly fan. Well, let me let you get a word in because I could go on about Dolly forever, basically.
No,
She's so awesome.
I think that is amazing. You know what I like about this story, Bobby, is that often when I was a financial planner, people would talk about, well, I think I'm okay to meet my goals, so I'm okay. I'm good. And then you step back from that. I would always step back from that, and I would say, well, this is a great opportunity for you. Now that you're going to be okay, how do you leave a legacy? How do you think beyond you? What do you want to do that's maybe something that helps out your community? And it might not be curing COVID, right? It might be just helping the local animal shelter, or it might be helping homeless people. It could be one of many different things that you do, but there could be a lot of ways that you help your community. And I love this idea of thinking outside yourself. I remember thinking when I first got involved in my community, I remember being told by mentors that I should. I also remember feeling like I didn't feel passionately about any of these different causes. And I went back to my mentor and I said, I just don't know where to help because I don't really feel, I feel good about all of them, but I don't feel really super strongly about one of them. And he gave me some great advice. He said, get your hands dirty first, and the passion will come. The second you're with these people. So I got involved with the Arthritis Foundation locally and found out a lot about juvenile arthritis. I got involved because my mom has arthritis, pretty bad. And it was amazing. And the second, he was right. The second I got involved in my community, that's when I got passionate.
And I love what you're saying about starting small, because Dolly started in just the one county with her Imagination Library, and now it's grown across the country. So you don't have to start so big. You can start in one small area and then grow it from there. So, and it just shows that a lot of celebrities can be incredibly generous, and they don't always go after this publicity. And to a lot of their credit, many give donations anonymously. I have no doubt that Dolly gave many donations to things that we know nothing about anonymously that have helped so many people. She's incredibly generous, and even her songs have just inspired so many people. And there's a lot of meaning. A lot of support for women's causes if you listen to the lyrics to a lot of her songs, and uplifting different people and inspiring them to go after their dreams, because she really started with nothing and worked many years. And she wasn't even famous as a solo artist until putting in many years working for other people.
It's funny. There's a puzzled look on my head, on my face, because I don't know how I feel about what I'm even about to say. But I think I don't know, there really is something here. Somebody brought it to my attention a couple of years ago, and they were talking about cancer research. Is people giving money to cancer research, which is a phenomenal thing. We want to do that. We want to make sure, but they are giving money to these for-profit companies that now Moderna. Don't get me wrong, we're solving a problem that a lot of people need taken care of. Moderna is going to make a lot of money on this. Is is there something there? Do you feel at all about that you're handing money to a profitable company so that they can make a bigger profit working on this vaccine?
So Dolly's donation was for the Vanderbilt University Medical Center. It was not a donation to Moderna, just to make that clear. I don't know how the financing works for these for-profit companies in terms of the vaccine. I believe there's been a lot of discussion about the vaccine being free for people, or insurance covering it. I don't know, and I don't know that it's fully clear yet. But right now we have a capitalist system where a lot of our drug development, the reality is, and there's a lot of public-private partnerships, but we do have a capitalist economic system, and that is how we fund our research here. And that is one of the reasons. And again, this is not something that I'm a specialist in, so I want to be careful not to give any confusing information here, but that's our system. So that's just the way it works. And we have a lot of foundations that support research and can fund projects, but we do have for-profit drug companies. So that's the way it gets done. But Dolly did not give a donation to Moderna, just to be clear. And a lot of countries that have different cost structures for drugs, they often benefit from the research that is funded by for-profit companies here in the United States, as I understand it. Again, I just want to put it out there that I'm not a specialist in that. So that gets really complicated, but it got done.
No, and that's why I said I don't even know how I feel about that. I had just never even thought about that until a couple of years ago. And obviously I've been stewing on that for 2 years and I still don't know. It is interesting though, getting back to the good part of this, thinking outside of yourself and thinking about your community, I think is an important thing for all of us. And, I know we got our takeaway coming up later, but I might've just given mine away, Bobby. That might be my big takeaway. Hey, in just a moment, Bobby and I are going to have our takeaways. But before we get there, ART is one of the oldest. Sotheby's was the oldest company on the New York Stock Exchange, by the way, until recently.
So cool.
And largest asset classes in the world, but reserved only for the ultra rich. Well, now because of the changes in the way that people are allowed to invest, where they buy fractional shares, you now can enter the art world if that's what you want to invest in. Masterworks is the first platform that lets everybody invest in art at a fraction normal price. Now you can buy and sell shares of multi-million-dollar paintings by blue chip artists like Andy Warhol, Banksy, and more as easily as if you're trading stocks. The big opportunity here is that blue chip art has outperformed the S&P 500 between 180% between 2000 and 2018, according to industry benchmark art price. Doesn't mean, by the way, that it's always going to beat the S&P 500. But what that does say is that with your long-term money, you want to make sure that you're investing in things that beat inflation. And art historically over long periods of time, like real estate and stocks, have beaten inflation, and it's not very much correlated to the stock market. The founders, by the way, of Masterworks are serial entrepreneurs who have founded over a dozen companies valued at up to $1 billion. And the CEO, who, by the way, we're going to have as a guest on here soon, is a internationally recognized top 100 personal art collectors. So imagine being able to invest in the very same art paintings as millionaires and billionaires at a fraction of the cost. Sign up today with promo code MWF. You'll skip the 25,000 person wait list to get first dibs. Again, that's masterworks.io. Use promo code MWF to go to the front of the line. That offer expires soon. See important information at masterworks.io/disclaimer. Bobby, what's our takeaway from today's discussion?
I think this Thanksgiving, we should all be thankful not only to Dolly Parton, but to all of the unnamed people and organizations that are funding efforts to battle COVID-19.
Yeah. And I think while I was even talking about Masterworks there, the art and beauty of this is that I think it's a great reminder that we can help. Dolly is at a point in her life that she can help on a global level. You can think very locally and have a great impact. And it doesn't have to be money, by the way. Especially this time of year, we think about, what a horrible year it was. What a great way to end it by helping out your community. So I think it's a great lesson, Bobby.
Yeah, very well said. And by the way, shout out to Dolly if you ever hear this, which you won't. But anyway, this I just want to show everyone here in our live
This
audience. You
was
guys should, if
awesome.
you join us on YouTube, you would see this. This was not planned, but I have my Dolly Parton mug. It says, "Pour yourself a cup of ambition, XO Dolly." And thank you, Diane Harris, who is a thought leader here and alum, actually gave me this, and it was my favorite mug, and I love having it here. And I love Dolly's such an inspiration, and the fact that I just coincidentally had my Dolly mug here, it says it all. So thank you, Dolly, for everything that you do.
I thought it was so funny. We were setting up for today's show, and Bobby goes, all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow. I had no idea what you were so excited about. And you're like, I just randomly chose the Dolly mug.
Well, I love it anyway. I use it frequently because it just makes me happy.
It's a good day. Yes, today makes me happy. All right, coming up tomorrow, something else that makes us happy, scoring better deals and not getting ripped off Black Friday week. We've got Trey Bodge joining you to talk, I'm sure, all about what you need to do and not do this shopping week. She's Bobby. I'm Joe. We'll see you next time back here at Money with Friends. Bye-bye.
Bye.
14.
Yeah. Thank you, John. She's the best. And I didn't want to get into too much divergence because I could just go on and on. I also wore sparkle, and this was on purpose in honor of Dolly, because she's always so sparkly, and I love Dolly. I literally, guys, I'm not kidding. I didn't want to derail the whole show and just fangirl all over Dolly, but like I watched a 2-hour Netflix on her, and this is not related to this. I just like saw it. Dolly also has a series where she acts out, like she has actors playing out the behind the scenes of like the meaning of her songs. Seriously. And then also she just has a bunch of specials out right now. She has a Christmas album. And I'm Jewish, but I'll probably buy it. So, put it that way. I mean, I just love Dolly. She's the best. Haven't made it to Dollywood yet. Hopefully when this whole thing ends, I'll go to Dollywood one day.
All right, guys, I'm off to next activity, trying to get everything done so that I can just play next week. Not a lot going on next week, which is great, but that means
you can watch all those Dolly specials, Joe.
That's exactly the first thing I'm going to do. Exactly.
Yeah. Somehow I don't think so. I think you'll be watching The Mandalorian. You'll be doing other stuff, but no.
Yeah.
But
all right, guys.
Everyone watch Dolly and tell me how you like it. Bye, guys.
We'll see you later. Bye.